It's been heartbreaking to see what's been playing out in Ukraine in the last 26 days. The latest round of talks between Russia and Ukraine will be happening today, and we'll have to see whether there's any sort of breakthrough. For the moment, it's people, civilians, who are paying the price of this war. Ukrainian officials have claimed that in the capital city of Kyiv alone, 228 people have died since the war began.
Damage, debris, and devastation on the streets of Ukraine cities. Russia continues to up its offensive on Ukraine with deadly aerial attacks in most of the cities. In Mykolaiv, Russian rockets hit a military base, reducing it to rubble. At least 15 bodies were recovered from under the debris. In one of the most horrifying attacks, a railway track was shelled, causing a massive explosion. The attack at an undisclosed location shows the detonation after the airstrike on the railway tracks on a bridge. The bridge completely destroyed after the attack. In Dnipro, repeated shellings leveled multiple residential buildings, bringing them to the ground. Black smoke engulfed the entire neighborhood and fire raged on for hours after the scary strike. Multiple shellings and missiles continue to pound the city. The residential buildings of the city of Kharkiv are in ruins due to multiple airstrikes. The second largest Ukraine city has seen most punishing airstrikes by the Russian forces using missiles and fighter jets. The besieged Mariupol continues to be the worst hit. Authorities claim that the Russian troops bombed an art school where 400 civilians took refuge. Multiple fatalities are feared in the strike. A convoy of buses evacuating Mariupol residents were also halted by the Russian troops. The capital city of Ukraine has seen massive casualties. At least 228 civilians, including 4 kids, have died since the beginning of the war. In a first, Russia has claimed that it has used hypersonic Kinzhal missiles to attack parts of Ukraine. The missiles, traveling at 5 times the speed of sound, took out a large weapons depot in western Ivano-Frankivsk region.
18 марта авиационным ракетным комплексом «Кинжал».
On March 18th, Kinzhal missile system armed with hypersonic aeroballistic missiles destroyed a large Ukrainian forces underground depot contained missiles and aircraft ammunition in the settlement of Delitin of Ivano-Frankivsk region in western Ukraine.
Населенных пунктах Великий Дальник и Великодолинская Одесской области.
But Ukraine continues to fight back like never before, shooting down Russian jets and destroying military tanks. Ukrainian President Zelensky issued a stern warning, saying that the war can destroy the victim as well as the invader. He also appealed Russia for peace talks.
Negotiations about peace, about security for us, about security for Ukraine are substantial, fair and without delays. This is the only chance for Russia to reduce the harm from its own mistakes. We were always insisting on the negotiations. We were always offering dialogue, offering a solution for peace.
Despite Putin intensifying attack on Ukraine, Zelensky has vowed to fight till the very end. The Ukrainian president also suspended activities of 11 political parties with Russian links in a cleanup drive. In Ukraine, Bureau Report, India Today.
Over the weekend, things got deadlier in Ukraine, with Russia confirming the use of a hypersonic missile, the Kinzhal missile, to target a weapons depot. And this was in western Ukraine. It's for the first time, perhaps, that Russia's confirmed that they've used a high-precision weapon like the Kinzhal missile in Ukraine.
A deadly missile which destroys its target with devastating ferocity and with unimaginable speed. Before you breathe, blink or have any chance to respond, traveling 5 times the speed for sound, or at an astounding speed of nearly 6,200 kilometers an hour. Enter the super deadly and lightning-fast hypersonic Kinzhal missile system, the Russian word for dagger. Kremlin has let the world know that it used the hypersonic missiles to destroy a large weapons depot in Ukraine's Ivano-Frankivsk region. Russia posted a video saying its missiles struck the arms depot in Delyatin, a village in southwestern Ukraine, only 100 kilometers from the border with Romania.
18 марта авиационным ракетным комплексом «Кинжал».
On March 18th, Kinzhal missile system armed with hypersonic aeroballistic missiles destroyed a large Ukrainian forces underground depot contained missiles and aircraft ammunition in the settlement of Delyatin of Ivano-Frankivsk region in western Ukraine.
В населенных пунктах Великий Дальник и Великодолинской Одесской области.
There is currently no way to stop or intercept the hypersonic missiles because they can change direction while mid-flight. Hypersonic cruise missiles are propelled by a high-speed jet engine and not gravitational forces used by traditional ballistic missiles. Russia may have used the MiG-31 fighters to deploy the missiles, which can carry both nuclear and conventional warheads. In any case, this is a massive step up for Russian invasion forces, accused of using oxygen-killing thermo-aerobic vacuum bombs and targeting civilian areas and committing unimaginable war crimes. Will the Western countermeasures and counter-strike military hardware supplied to Ukraine be able to defeat Russia's game-changing missile strikes? With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.
The world is talking about Russia's declaration that they've used the Kinzhal missile because this particular weapon has the capability of even carrying nukes. Sneha Murdani gets you all the details.
Let's tell you a little more about the killer Kinzhal missile. It's a super fast, low-flying and maneuverable speed of 6,000 kilometers per hour. The speed is 5 times that of sound. It can hit targets 2,000 kilometers away. The payload capacity is 480 kilograms and can carry nukes, conventional warheads, propelled by high-speed jet engine. It doesn't follow a preset flight path and can change trajectory mid-flight. There's no way to stop or intercept this missile.
And our next report sums up, like no other, what's happened in Ukraine. In the last 26 days, the beautiful country of Ukraine has turned into nothing but a ground of death and destruction. And telling images on your screens really sums up how this country has been ravaged by war.
The Russian onslaught continues, approaching a month and counting. Ruthless Russian troops are destroying railway lines, shelling residential buildings, flattening civilian hideouts, claiming lives in bulk. The extent of the damage caused to erstwhile picturesque Ukrainian cities are horrifying and beyond the realm of words. The city of Chernihiv has been witnessing massive attacks by the Russian troops. Fire continues to rage on in residential and commercial buildings. Plumes of black smoke from buildings that have faced back-to-back shelling in the area. The images from the city of Dnipro paints a devastating picture. Charred buildings and burned trees across the city show the extent of non-stop airstrikes that the city has been witnessing. Most of the buildings are reduced to rubble. The few standing are pockmarked with impact of explosions. The aftermath of attacks on Kharkiv are horrifying. Residential buildings heavily damaged by Russian shellings. Parts of the town, once brimming with life, have now turned into a ghost town. The streets of Kharkiv continue to witness bloodbath, lying in ruins, turning into a complete ghost city. As Russia attacks from all sides, Ukraine is bleeding and left to fend for itself. Bureau Report, India Today.
There's an all-out refugee crisis that's playing out in Europe as a result of the war in Ukraine. European authorities are saying that they can comfortably house at this point some of the refugees who have come. Nearly 3.5 million refugees have been reported across Europe. And the question is, what really can be done now to ensure that these refugees are taken care of?
European officials on Sunday said their countries were running out of room to comfortably house some of the nearly 3.5 million refugees who have fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion. Most have arrived at border points in Poland, Slovakia, Romania, and Hungary, according to data compiled by the UN Refugee Agency, putting pressure on the EU countries trying to shelter them. At Poland's busiest crossing, Jorge Galindo, a communications officer for the International Organization for Migration, said there are reports that another surge of refugees may be coming.
We don't know how many people and we don't know when they will arrive. What we can say for sure is that, after 3 weeks since the start of the war, we continue seeing flows on a daily basis, over 10,000 a day just at this border crossing alone, Medica.
More than 2 million Ukrainians have fled to Poland. In the capital of Warsaw, refugees waited in line for a third day in front of the National Stadium, which has been temporarily turned into an administrative office to register new arrivals. Natalia Strelkova arrived in Poland from an area near the Ukrainian city of Dnipro.
Rockets started to fly and residents saw it. It's difficult. It becomes scary. Panic starts and you want to run away somewhere. It's harder because of children. We were worried that something would happen to them.
Ukraine's deputy prime minister said 7 humanitarian corridors would open on Sunday to enable civilians to leave frontline areas.